Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to Girls Run These Worlds. Once again, we are here for an episode of Therosian Odyssey, Strand of Fate. We're on episode 8 now. And I can officially say that this will be the penultimate episode of this campaign. Cry. The bit where you all cry. But I'm just kidding, we are also very excited. So well, to begin with, I guess let's have a quick go around, introduce ourselves. We don't really need to do more than say our names and our characters as usual, because we'll have time for proper chatting about ourselves a bit later. But I will start with, I'm going to go chaotically again. I'm going to start with Kumi.
Hello, I'm Kumi, and tonight in my time. Okay, today I'm playing Kavika, the barbarian who just recently had helped out. Was confronted with her party with like a couple of large giant spiders, weird looking ones, and Arachna, who we did not expect to meet so quickly, and hopefully this gives us answers. Also, Callista thankfully brought some light back into this tunnel because my torch was starting to go out again and I was desperately looking over to Onyx.
All right, yeah. Bless be Callista, who's just brought some natural sunlight into the tunnel. Okay. So, oh wow, just real quick, thank you so much, Martlet Games, who has just gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Oh my goodness.
Yay!
Thank you. I don't normally do like little shout outs, but I've just noticed that and I just had to say something. So thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Okay. Next up, I will do Joan, who also, Joan, you can quickly mention that your at has changed.
That's right. I'm Joan. I am playing Onyx, the Asmar Nyxborn Paladin of Nilia, and my handle has changed from A_wild_Akafan to the Rogue Senna. So keep an eye out for that.
Nice. Let's go with Lindsay next.
Hello everyone, I'm Lindsay. I am playing your Gloomstalker Ranger Kenku, who everyone thinks is a rogue or an assassin. I don't know, maybe I just play them a certain way. But let's...
Are you surprised?
No. I follow the god of secret, so like secret, but yeah, let's go finish this story up.
Yes. Let's go with Lulu next.
Hi, I'm Lulu. I play Callista, who did not expect to bring the ceiling down last episode. She's a little...
like the ceiling can't hold us.
I love it though. I love it. Just that total calm, like I know what I'm doing, and then just does something she did not expect to do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Calm maybe on the outside, but
yeah. Everything is fine. Let's go. Last but not least, our beloved both player and producer today. So just a little bit more stress for poor Jen, but she nothing they can't handle. Let's go, Jen.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. Hello, friends. I really hope that I am audible right now.
You are.
Oh
to
yeah,
us, at least.
plus.
I think.
Well, amazing. Hello, friends. I am Jen. I can be found at Jenburb, and I am your friendly local Estrella wizard. Yeah, Estrella's my subclass, actually.
Estrella wizard.
Yep.
That's a great subclass. I had a lot of fun coming up with that one. Just a couple of things real quick. It is September, which again, thank you so much, Martlet Games, for your subs, but till the end of September, 25% off of subs, and it is Twitch taking the hit. So please do feel free to drop us a sub if you enjoy the content of any of the games that are streamed on Girls Run These Wild. We really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess let's just go straight into where we picked up from last week, if I can find it. Okay, so last session, the five of you finally came face to face with Arachne, the methodical mastermind behind the disappearances within Setessa. She was much changed, having taken a dose of what she described as her best attempt at a cure, but clearly she had once more failed in fully transforming herself back into a human from her spidery form. And she sort of appeared to you all as this sort of half spider, half human monstrosity, a spider tour. Like a kind of like a centaur, but spider. Yeah, it was very like a one might call it a drider if one was playing a different D&D game. But the transformation appeared to have somewhat warped her mind too. And though attempts at a peaceful negotiation were made, thank you very much, Kaliuka, what she wanted was most likely far too high a cost and would not have stopped her experimentation. It was a bravely fought battle, and one ended by a thoroughly badass, destructive finishing move from the usually rather anxious and timid Callista. So as you all come down from the adrenaline of battle, your eyes adjusting to the natural light, the rocks have crushed Arachne completely. The single leg that you can kind of see sticking out remains very still. She is dead. The previously hostile humanoid that you had kind of kept alive seems suddenly very groggy, confused, and remains motionless without its mistress to command it. It is easy to bind with your new magical rope and offers no resistance.
Oh yeah.
There is a brief period of silence as you all catch your breaths and begin to think about what to do next. But the silence is cut short. A loud, piercing woman's scream echoes around the cavern. It comes from the east. It is very close, and it stretches out over many seconds. Onyx, if you were an overthinker, you might spend precious seconds agonizing over whether you recognize this scream. But you are a woman who goes with your gut. And in this instance, your gut tells you that that is, without a doubt, the anchor screaming. And I'll leave it over to you.
Immediately run towards the direction of the scream, sword drawn, quick whistle behind me for Iva.
Yep, Iva is going to clue into that whistle very quickly and click-clack her way up to Onyx's heels and, run up beside her and follow along, kind of looking up at her, looking towards where she heard the scream, back up to Onyx, and then on a mission.
Onyx and Eva have kind of just run straight to the sound of the scream. The rest of you?
I quickly look over at Astrea and Callista and ask, do you know some way to contact the people outside? Maybe if they come in, we can spread the cure out quicker.
I think for now our best bet is going to be, as Astrea is like actively following Onyx, I think for now our best bet is going to be doing what we can here, and seeing if there's any other information, any other information here that can help us. But for now, I think we need to get Onyx's peace of mind before we can look at anything else. Otherwise, we're going to be a little bit stuck.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have any. I mean, I can talk to people in their mind short distance, but not not over a very long distance.
Okay.
And then I think Callista will follow slower after Onyx.
All right. So you follow along. You all run closer and closer. The scream becomes sounds of a struggle as you dash towards it. You reach a point where you can hear that whoever is screaming is just around the corner. And it is here that everything goes quiet. The sudden silence is almost worse than the terrified screeches. Then there is a sharp intake of breath and the sound of hushed sobbing. You all round the corner and are greeted by the sight of a dwarven woman. Her long red hair is mussed and dirty, and her dress is ripped. She is knelt down beside one of the 8-legged spidery creatures that you fought in the cabin. Ones that almost looked fully spider with just barely any of their human features left. It is now on its back. Its legs are twitching and the life ebbs out of it. A large, sharp needle sticks out of its throat and it is dying slowly while a vial containing some sort of liquid lies smashed next to it. You immediately recognize the needle, Onyx, as one that your mother, Bianca, likes to keep in her hair while working. And with a despairing look, Bianca herself turns to face all of you as you walk into the small cabin. And she kind of looks towards each of you, and then her eyes settle on you, Onyx, and she says, Onyx?
Onyx drops her sword and she goes, Mama! And just runs towards her and envelops her in a hug.
Aww.
So she kind of like just falls to her knees. Her hands are still shaking, but she has stopped looking at where she has obviously killed this creature. And she is just looking at you, and she kind of just lets herself be held for a moment, and then pulls back and immediately begins checking you over as any mother would.
I think Onyx does the exact same thing. She's just checking, and I think I can't remember if I have any healing left. If I do, I use it.
You definitely use some to. When Astraea went down, I think he used some to.
Oh, I have one
bring
more
her back.
spell
I don't
slot.
remember.
So I would cast a Cure Wounds on her. 5 points, no 4.
Okay, perfect. And she kind of, I mean, she's seen you perform your magic before. She knows what that feels like. And she kind of just like draws back and she goes, oh, thank the gods, the priestess was right, you came. And then she just kind of like holds you close. Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm fine. Are you okay?
It has been a difficult couple of weeks.
Daja's been worried about you.
And she kind of like breathed out. She just, when you mention Daja's name, you can see that it's quite an overwhelming moment for her. And she just kind of really trying to adjust to the fact that she's, I guess, being rescued right now. So she's just very like, Daja, have you seen Daja? Is she okay?
Yes, at least she was. The last time I saw her, we saw her just a day or so ago.
Yeah, I know time feels like it's been a long time, but I think it's actually only like this morning.
Okay.
It's almost as if it's been about 2 months.
But Yes, she's okay. She's at home.
Thank goodness. How did you find me?
My friends helped me. Honestly, I don't even remember. I just was focused on getting to you.
It is exactly as the priestess said it would be. And she kind of looks at all of you.
So Eva at this point is gonna like sheepishly come up, reach into her satchel and pull out a cookie, as she do, and she's gonna offer it up to Bianca, kind of like sheepishly giving her a little cookie, because she's probably hungry.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Cat, no, come back.
Cat, no.
No,
Cat, no.
Gremlins, go away.
Gremlins, not today.
You've broken the game.
Oh my god, Eva, you broke her.
Again. Why can't I have nice things?
Like a cookie. Oh my god.
Arasta.
A cookie.
Arachne is still alive somewhere.
Oh wait, hang on. Cat's back.
Can we hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. I will try to keep an eye on that. So she will. What did you hear? Sorry, let me just.
Nothing. I gave a cookie and you died.
Oh no.
Cookie.
So you will. She will just sort of take it, and she will just look at it and go, "Yes, I'm very hungry," and then she'll begin to eat at the cookie and smiling gratefully at you and.
Onyx gives you a thankful smile as well.
Eva's just gonna like nudge herself up against Onyx a bit.
Esther's gonna do her very best to not be seen.
Yeah.
But while we're running over at the rear, does it seem like there's any sounds around, if any other creepy crawlies coming towards this, or if anyone else hiding in the shadows?
Make a perception check.
Oh, that's a 7. That's sad.
7. You don't hear anything. So let's hope not.
I can't see a blind. Callista, maybe you can make one more hole up on top.
You can absolutely not see anything. Onyx, in her desperation to get to her mother, has not lit your torch. You've just been relying on holding everyone else's hands to be here. You're just hoping that someone at some point will remember that it is pitch black for you.
I did renew it last time.
Callista will take out her knife and cast light on it and say, here you go. I know you can't see very well in the dark. I wouldn't want you to get lost or stumble or anything. And
it's
Callista
my lightsaber. And she's just like so happy with it.
Mm-hmm. And Callista will stay close to Kalyuka to give her some light.
Yeah, I desperately need the guidance.
So as you sort of sit there, she kind of is nibbling on this cookie, and you take a moment to kind of sit with her, and she will essentially relay the story of the past couple of weeks. She will tell you a little about what you already knew, that she had not a month or so ago, after Onyx had left, she had begun having weird dreams, seeing visions of herself as a spider or becoming a spider, and she had, in the process, and she seems very ashamed of this as she says it, but she says, I lost my faith in Nilia. I thought she was punishing me for something. The dreams had become so much that one night she had dreamt of being asked to wander to this place that she had been dreaming of. And she had finally accepted. She had given in it. She thought that it held the cure. And when she woke, she, in her dream to get there, she had walked across a path of webs. And when she woke, she found herself in this place. She had been taken to a cell. She tells you, and as she says that, she goes, "Oh, did you come across the cell? Did you find the cells?"
No.
Cell? We found.
No, there is some kind of disused dungeon here, and that's where they were keeping us. But Letitia is still there.
Okay.
Well, show us where.
Before we go anywhere, are you okay? We don't want. I'm a. Damn it, I'm a wizard, not a doctor. I don't know what the effects of whatever happened to you are, but I don't want to stress you too much. If we need to rest before we go anywhere, I can't. Hi, I'm Estrella. I don't want to speak for Onyx, but I know that it would maybe not be a fantastic idea to strain you too much if you don't feel ready.
She kind of looks and she goes, "Oh, no, they were going to. I know what they've been doing here. I have, over the weeks, had many conversations with Arachne. They haven't done that to me yet. They were about to. And then she kind of looks at the dead spider, and the smash violin. And she goes, I stopped it."
Thank goodness.
And at this point, Callista will be like, "Oh, hi, I'm Callista. I have lots of healing magic left if you need some. I know Onyx gave you a little bit, but are you feeling okay? I can help out." And she'll go up and cast a first level Cure Wounds.
Aww.
She seems. I will say she seems. Just so in case you didn't want to waste the spell slot, she seems very tired, but she doesn't seem much in the way of injured. If anything, I would say that she's sort of maybe suffering from exhaustion, but I wouldn't say that she is injured in any way that like a Cure Wounds or anything would overly help with, especially as Onyx has already sort of cast it. But you are welcome to still.
Okay. Callista's going to do it anyway because she doesn't really know what else to do, and she feels like she wants to do something, and that's what she's got.
Yeah, that's
so.
fine.
And it was 9.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so she kind of like closes her eyes and she says, "Oh, you are a priestess?"
Yeah. Yes, I'm a priestess from the temple in Miletus of Afara. At least that's what I was raised to be anyway.
Priestess of Afara.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why she sent me here with these people, but I'm glad we found you.
I'm glad that you found me as well. I had faith that you would. The priestess that came here, she told me that. She told me that Onyx and her friends would all come to find me.
Which priestess?
And she will kind of have this moment where she's like looking as if she's trying to remember some very hazy details. But she will say, while I was in my cell, I mentioned I spoke to Arachne a lot, and Arachne was being helped by some priestess. That is what she told me. This is the reason that I was here. And the priestess had brought me here, that she was the reason I was having the dreams. And, you know, I tried very hard to when I spoke to Arachne, she was not a horrible person. She was trying, I think, to help in some way. She was trying to do a good thing, but her vision was misguided. I tried to make her see that, but she was she was so obsessed with finding a cure, and she could not see beyond that.
There are many
But
people out there for whom the end justifies the means, and they forget to see the limits of that.
And that was exactly it. And she told me that when she was young, her mother had died of some horrible disease, and she had dedicated her life to trying to find cures to things that seemed to be hopeless. But
she nearly committed the exact same sin.
Yes, she did. I'm not justifying her behavior, but you know, she was for a while my only company. But one night I was visited by this priestess that she kept speaking of. I wasn't expecting it. She told me, though, that she did not represent Farrakha as she had told Arachne. That she represented a far more powerful deity, one that held a sway over Theros in a way that Farrakha, Nilia, even Heliod did not. She knew so much about me, things I had never told her, that even Arachne didn't know. And she told me that she knew that I was a weaver, so she started talking about tapestries. But yes, Jen.
Sorry. Is this deity someone that we are already aware of, or does this ring a bell into some more ancient mythology that is somehow more ancient than totally not ancient Greece?
I mean, given the context clues and everything like that, the two deities that would probably spring to mind are Crufix and Clothis.
Yeah. Okay.
The other deities are quite often considered but squabbling children.
Compared to them.
In comparison to the power that they wield and hold, and it is most likely very lucky or unlucky for Theros that they do not choose to use it in the way that they could sometimes.
So it's not like this secret ancient god of gods. It's just some of the gods.
No, that's at least that would be the kind of thing that would immediately spring to your mind with your knowledge of deities and everything like that. Would probably be either Clothis or Crufix.
Gotcha.
And she says she knew I was a weaver. She started talking about a great tapestry, that we are all threads within it.
Speaking of which, she told me that at this point, she's not interrupting, but Onyx will pull the weaving out of her bag and put it around Bianca's shoulders.
Oh, that's cute. And she would just kind of continue as you do, but smile. She told me that I had been blessed, that my fate was not to die here as the others would, and that I was a test for Onyx. And she would give you a really serious look. Onyx and all of her friends, that is what she told me. She said to me, Onyx and her friends will come for you. That is their fate.
I don't remember signing up for this kind of SAT.
And what else did she tell you? Did she maybe tell you what Onyx's purpose was in this happening? And I look over at Callista and
I asked her what she meant by test. I didn't want Onyx to be in danger. But she just smiled at me and said it is part of the great tapestry of Theros. She didn't really tell me any more other than that the deity that she served was testing all of you.
And how did she look?
And she will actually describe the priestess as well to you. She will describe this sort of a woman with long braided silvery hair, sort of a dusky pink skin, purple robes, even. And she would, and I think that all of those things would kind of like, there's not many people that would necessarily look like that. But beyond that, she would talk about how she had entered the room to talk to her wearing a blindfold, but walked around as if she knew where everything was. And that description, Callista, perfectly matches the woman that you saw on top of the tower that seemed to create a lion from nothing. And so that is exactly the same. It's almost an uncanny description.
Being a follower of Krupix, is this gonna like ring some bells?
Well, I mean, you've all been in that tomb as well, whereas on the kind of lids of the coffins, they had these figures that all of them were blindfolded, and that room was definitely associated with Clothis, goddess of fate, which all perfectly fits into what this priestess seemed to be saying about, a tapestry being weaved of Theros and how you're all but threads and things like that. So it seems to indicate that Clothis is somehow involved in all of this.
Yeah, well, the description of the priestess, is it like a priestess, or is it actually like a goddess?
Roll a religion check.
Ooh, gross. Okay, hold on.
And then one question after Eva is done remembering things, which thank God, honestly. I have a question for
which one?
That did not go well. Nope. Nope. That was not. Nope. 5.
Right.
I know nothing.
I don't really think that you would know, to be honest. You would know that enough, given all of the context clues, all of the things that you found so far. Eva's very intelligent. You would know enough to know that this is all linked and all seems to be linked towards Clothis, but you wouldn't even begin to be able to know whether it's Clothis herself walking around, whether it is a priestess or what.
I think Eva would be more distracted by the fact that she now has friends, apparently. The gods say she has friends.
The deities say that you have friends, yeah.
Oh.
Plural, even.
And hearing that description, Callista would pipe in and say, we've all met her before too. Do you remember? She was there the day we first met. She's the one who sent the lion after us.
Not the lion again.
Test.
So the four of you, just to be very clear, the four of you, as Callista says this, have no idea what Callista is talking about. None of you saw this woman.
I hate to. Well, I have two questions. One, a little bit more immediately pressing, which is, do we know where she is now? And Callista, I only remember seeing a lion and an asshole in that arena.
Same. Multiple assholes, in fact.
Oh, and all the rest of you.
And Callista's like, I don't know. I don't know where she is now, but she was definitely there. She summoned the lion. I saw it clear as I'm seeing you now.
Where was she?
She was up above in the arena.
That'll do it. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And Callista would describe the tower, which you found the guards all sleeping around. And there was definitely some sort of evidence of magical shenanigans around that tower.
And Estrella would be like, that actually does line up. Cassian and I were doing our sweep of the area in the aftermath, and we did find that one of the towers, I want to say the southeastern one, had all of the guards were asleep. They caught hell for it. Was that the one?
Certainly did.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I will have to see if I can get them their jobs back. Yeah, there were some consequences there. Do we know where she is now?
Bianca will be very
have you
like,
seen-
no, she had some kind of argument with Arachne and then she left.
Very dedicated, I see.
But Callista, even in your visions, when you see us, have you ever seen anyone controlling these strands, these threads? Did she look like the one who summoned the lion?
The description that Bianca gave is exactly the woman that I saw before the lion attack. But in my visions, I just see strands of what almost looks like seaweed connecting us and leading us along. I don't understand why seaweed.
By any chance, does the seaweed point us toward where she went? Or maybe spell out what kind of argument she had with Arachne?
No, but I could cast an augury spell and try to get some clarity. But we
Eva,
should also check on that other person that Bianca said is here if they're still alive.
Eva, maybe I know you're given, and she kind of like indicates Eva's entire ranger getup. I get the feeling you may be a good tracker. Do you think? And she turns to Bianca. Was this recent enough that our resident tracker could maybe get an idea of where she went? Do you remember what they were arguing about?
Oh, this was about a week ago.
Oh dear. Okay.
Maybe I don't know.
She could be anywhere by now.
But Eva's just gonna. But you say someone in jail? Someone we need to find in jail?
Yes. I don't 100% know if I remember the way, but I can try to lead you. These tunnels are quite confusing.
I will just in an effort to give her some sense of like agency back, I will hand her the keys just so that she can kind of lead the way and do what you gotta do.
All right.
I will also slip her journal into her pocket.
And Eva will quickly ask, what other room around?
Other rooms? I don't really know. I arrived, I was taken to the jails, and then I was taken from the jails to here.
Jail near Tomb, jail near Egg, jail near outside?
Jail
Astrea
near...
kind of looks around at all of the eggs.
Yeah.
Jail near... And she kind of points towards where you've all fought Arachne. And she said it was towards the big room where Arachne was
Squished.
And then there was down, basically. She kind of indicates that she kind of went south. Or came from south. So she came from the south to where Arachne was, and then was taken here.
All right, let's go find Letitia.
Okay, and she will sort of, and it will be a bit slow going. You will make your way back into the space where Arachne is dead, and she will kind of like, her eyes will widen as she realizes that Arachne has been crushed, but she won't say anything or offer any opinion. And then she will kind of look, and there's a few different corridors that lead to the south, and it will take her a little bit of walking around, but eventually she will lead you into room that has many sort of, it does essentially look like holding cells, or like a dungeon of some kind. And as you walk in, so there's like probably about 4 doors either side, and they are just wooden doors. It's not even like bars. You can't see into them. A couple of them look closed, the rest are open. And from one of them, you just hear a very frightened voice, female voice. And she just sort of said, "Who's there?"
You're safe.
And you kind of yell out, and Bianca also yells out and says, "Letitia, it's me. It's me. I think we're being saved." And you hear this sort of sigh of relief. She goes, "I'm locked in here. I can't get out."
Oh, that'll be Callista's clue to go over and try to pick the lock.
Bianca starts kind of like looking through all these keys that you've given her. Make an attempt to pick the lock.
That's how do I do that again? My brain just like totally shut down. What am I rolling for that?
You need to roll a dexterity check and add your proficiency bonus.
For some reason, I couldn't think of the word dexterity. Oh, not very good. 10. Actually, well, no, she's not going to use it for now.
10 altogether?
Yeah, it was not a good roll.
So petition to have her roll again, but with the key this time.
Or just use the key.
You begin to get into this door. I am never putting a locked door in a game ever again.
I'm so tempted to use my...
really doing your level best. And I think that, I will be fair, I think that you would have got it, but I think it would have taken some time. Bianca at this point has found the key, and she sort of walks over, and you're still kind of like, "I almost got it. I'm nearly there." And she's like, I have a key, and then she doesn't want to like interrupt, and there's just this whole kind of couple of minutes where everyone is just watching Callista like try to get this, and you can hear that there is some progress being made, but it is slow going progress. And then eventually Letitia's like, Are you letting me out? Is the key working? and then Bianca's like, if you don't mind, I do have the key.
Oh, well, I suppose, yeah, that would probably be a good idea. I almost had it, and I mean, I know I haven't been doing this very long, but I almost had it. But you're right. We should use the key. And she'll step back over to Kalyuka, and she's like, "Really, I almost had it. I was so close."
Eva's gonna pat her on her thigh, like, there. Okay.
I lean over to Eva and say,
and
maybe you should buy her a better set.
She almost had it. She did almost have it. We're all sure about it. But it was, just another
DC was
half
11,
an hour would have done it.
I understand. It's performance anxiety in front of a parent. It happens to all of us.
I know somebody who can relate. It's okay.
Oh.
Wow, shading Cassian. The fact that you shade him when he's not around to defend himself.
It's okay because
shameful.
On the bright side,
okay.
they've never
be able
seen
to
me
defend himself anyway.
They've never seen me do anything like say anything untoward toward him, so it's more of an inside joke between me, myself, and I. Besides, we all know that's not the worst performance anxiety he's going to get in his life.
For the sake of brevity, you let Letitia out of her cage. There is a moment where her and Bianca kind of reunite, and Bianca informs you, Letitia is a herbalist. Do you have anything of? Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
What? And they kind of look at you confused, like, what do you mean?
we found all these potions in their storeroom, ingredients and a notebook, and I'm good with magic, but I'm hopeless with anything. I'm hopeless with the more natural stuff. That's more of an Eva
when
thing.
you say
I don't know if we even
notebook,
have any kind
Letitia is very like, she puts her arm out and she's like, let me see it. And you're stuttering your way through the sentence.
Don't actually remember which one of us has the notebook.
I don't.
I feel like it is you.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I know I was the last person to look at it. I just like
it could be Eva, because Eva just has a penchant for just collecting.
That's true. I think it's probably
I think
Eva.
I took it. I think I did like.
Chances are, like, I was looking at it and then I put it down and Eva was like, boop, I'll take that.
Yeah. Eva's gonna kind of look around a little bit, reach into her bag, and like pull the book out. Like,
she will take it and she will begin to flick through it, and she'll like mutter to herself for a little bit. Just very interesting. Why on earth did she think that's ingenious? That kind of thing, like where she's kind of half criticizing, but also half like astounded by the things that she's reading.
It's like, oh, that's so
and then
fucked
eventually
up. I love
she says, wait, say that again.
She's like, that's so fucked up. I love this experimentation technique.
Yeah, basically, she's like kind of shocked, but like in an almost like morbidly curious way. And then she kind of looks up and she says, okay, you said that there was a room full of supplies here?
Oh yeah, just down the way, down south, southwest. That was Jen's uncertainty, not Estrella's.
Within this complex nest of caverns is the supply room.
There wasn't much southwest of that, so I think.
Eva,
I think I could.
Oh, wait. Do you think you could draw a map?
Probably.
I could do something if they are. It mentions here that there is a state that they go into, that it takes some time for them to transform. Did you notice anything? Did you notice people in some kind of
Ohio
state where they are not quite human but not quite spider?
Ohio. Yeah, Ohio. Fucking Ohio.
Did you notice people in Minnesota?
It was actually Florida. I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to be that funny.
Being from Michigan, it's absolutely Ohio.
It's Ohio. I've been to Ohio enough. It's fucking Ohio.
Okay.
Eva's gonna look like a little. Oh no, we murdered one in that state.
Okay, we didn't mean to. We were looking at what was going on, and then she kind of suffocated.
We were trying to help.
It's not your fault. It's not something that you come across every day, but she kind of is also slightly cringing, like, it's not your fault that you're imbeciles kind of vibe. You know the like, when someone is like an expert on something and then you're like, oh, I just did this thing and then I tried to poke the button and all of this, and they're just like, why did you do that? Like that kind of like
somewhere in the back of her head, Estrella's like, oh, this is what it's like to be Cassian.
But yeah, so she says, I think because they're not fully transformed, I would be able to do something. Obviously, Arachne was looking to find some kind of cure, which involved them having to be transformed first. But I might be able to reverse the procedure while it is in the process of happening. I don't think I can cure anyone that has already been through it, though. Not without extensively looking and extensive testing, and then I'm just Arachne.
Right. There is one that we tried to incapacitate rather than outright kill. Now that I'm thinking about it, it may have been better to just... It's still alive, and it's in the room where we fought Arachne.
Not to make you feel worse, but it is also in extreme pain from many burns, and like it literally had like one hit point left.
It's a little singed too, and by singed I mean mostly spider barbecue.
And tied up.
If we rest for the night, I can do some healing tomorrow.
And I still have.
Well, that could work, but I don't know what we can do for her.
Do you think I have some research that I want to do tonight based on the notes that that Eva you just gave her, and I think that maybe with a night to reflect on it, I may be able to put together some sort of arcane way to perhaps remove curse from people. I might be able to craft a spell for that.
You could try it, but if you did, you would it would succeed where Arachne had failed.
I suspect you're right, but I think after my cat's puking on the floor behind me, that's a problem for me, I guess. I think it's the least I can do for it after we basically beat it up, barbecued it, and then left it.
All right. Well, I would need to work through the night too, and then perhaps we should set off early tomorrow morning and seek Setessan aid.
I agree.
But I will do my best throughout the night.
No, Pippin, no. So sorry, give me a second.
It's all right.
Asshole cat. Okay.
And so essentially the suggestion that she gives is that you will stay here or stay in or around this cave. She will use the supply room to essentially attempt to create some kind of antitoxin, seeing as this thing seems to work as a poison would, and try to stop the process of changing in its tracks and maybe help some of these creatures that are in the sort of transformative phase. She's not sure what can be done for this other creature. It would, if it slept or whatever, it would begin to recover from its wounds. Remove curse, she's a little skeptical that it will work, but willing to entertain the idea. She would probably suggest that everyone rests up and then you all leave early tomorrow morning to get back to Setessa, and that Setessa become involved in actually trying to essentially really clear up what's happened here.
Extremely important question. How long has it been since we left Setessa?
About a day.
Number of hours. You arrived sort of late, I guess late morning.
Okay. And
you all kind of then went to Onyx's mother's and spent a little bit of time there, but you were traveling for quite a while. If you kind of went to try to rest and wind down now and do all this now, you could leave very early the next morning and probably arrive back in Setessa for around midday.
So in essence, it will have been more than 24 hours.
You're worried about Cassian, aren't you?
I'm not worried about...
In essence, you will miss the morning meeting, yes.
Okay. The main thing is that, like, for reference, Lulu, and I don't think anyone heard this, aside from Estrella and Cassian, but I told them I wouldn't be back by morning. I just wanted to make sure I was holding to that.
You could, if you wanted to, make sure that you did not walk through those gates until 12:01 and hold true to your word if that was very important to Estrella.
I am nothing if not consistent.
Yes.
Guess I'm nothing,
okay.
but...
Well, we can address that when you get back. But never mind the lives of all these people. As long as this promise to Cassian is kept, that is the most important thing. All right. So that will be her suggestion. If you are wanting to all go along with that, or if you have anything else that you wanted to address or do, speak now.
I think
forever hold your peace.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. And Onyx, what you would notice as well is the moment that she talks about maybe having a rest, Bianca just looks exhausted. Like she really looks like she needs to sleep. Astrea, I am guessing that you would like to take first, if each of you takes a couple of hours over an 8-hour period, are you going to stay in the caves?
I think we probably should, just because if she's going to be doing research, she's going to want that storeroom. So I'm
gonna want that storeroom.
My
she
personal
wants to
vote will
stay
be
in the
camping
cave,
around
and
the
she would
storeroom.
appreciate the company for sure.
Yeah.
The place is still crawling with spegs that are just filled with spiders. You know, I don't want to put this thought in your head, but they could all hatch at any minute.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah,
I
don't want to put this
think...
thought in your head,
But
but I'm going to
nobody
put this thought
panic.
in your head.
Everything's fine because you do have a DM that is arachnophobic.
But we also have a DM who crafted an entire spider-based story. So
yeah.
I
But
think
how
someone
much
might be a little
spider? How much
masochistic
spider
here.
can your DM take? That's the question.
I mean, there was a whole lot of spider, but Astrea would probably offer first watch in order to at least help her organize, catalog everything in the storeroom, so that while she's sleeping, it's a little bit easier for her to get through everything and do what she needs to do.
All right. And who is taking second, third, and fourth watch?
I'll probably take second watch.
Eva would probably take the last watch, and what she's going to do is she's going to take off her cloak of displacement, and she's going to lay it on top of Bianca, who's probably getting ready to go to bed.
Oh, you know, it's very sweet. Onyx, are you going to take any watch or Callista?
I'll take the last one.
Yeah, Callista can take the third watch right after Kalyuka.
Yeah. Okay, so Astrea first, Kalyuka second, Callista third, and then Onyx and Eva up for the fourth. Does that sound correct?
Yep,
got it.
That sounds about right.
Cool. So you kind of all settle down to sleep and get everything prepared. Letitia immediately sets to work. Onyx, you settle down to rest so that you can be up very early in the morning. And Bianca, it's quite sweet actually, and it will be quite sweet for the rest of you to observe. This is a woman who's obviously been a kind of mother figure to Onyx for a good portion of her life, and is probably used to being the one doing all the tucking in and everything like that. But in this particular case, I think that it's probably going to be Bianca that wants some comfort at the moment. And so she kind of like nestles up to you, and she seems uneasy, but she soon falls into a very deep sleep that she's clearly needed for some time.
They're 100% like snuggled up, spooning in both that cloak and the blanket that was in Onyx's pack, and the weaving.
Yeah, and it is quite chilly, but you managed to find enough warmth. It's not going to be uncomfortably cold for any of you. So Astrea, you stay up first. The rest of you settle down to sleep. Is there anything in particular you wanted to do, or are you just kind of assisting?
At this point, I'm just kind of assisting, making sure everything is cataloged. I'm probably going to ask if, assuming that there is no need to use up all of the supplies to get a little bit of everything, and if there is time, I would love to, and if she has the wherewithal / willingness, to kind of pick her brain on, brands of herbalism kits, and also just kind of like a brief primer on how to resolve things like this, and just herbalism / grass alchemy in general.
And she will happily like give you some of that information. I can say as well that she would probably like in the conversation, upon hearing that there was kind of a room that had lots of bookshelves of books and stuff like that, she would probably have gone to there and seen if there was anything useful that might have helped her or to help her understand Arachne's thought process and things like that. So she would kind of give you a couple of those books on kind of poisons and medicinal treatments and things, and just be like, I mean, if you're interested, feel free to leaf through some of these. Arachne won't be needing them anymore. But she's quite happy to talk about it. There is a level of she's tired because of the situation that she's in, and she's staying up all night, and that's going to start to wear on her. But you're with her at quite the early portion of the evening, so she's kind of running on adrenaline right now. She's happy to indulge your questions. As you kind of take the time to settle down, and at this point it is starting to get into the evening now. You shake Caliuca awake. Your watch has ended, as it were.
That's terrifying.
And you kind of get ready to settle into bed.
Okay. Can I also just real quick do a very rough sketch of a map to get from Setessa to here, just so that when we get back we can turn that over to the Setessans.
Absolutely.
Just so they can...
I'll allow over that sort of 2-hour period you can have done all that, and also if you've got the remove curse thing, if you still needed to do that, I think you already did it but I can't remember, but if you still needed to do that, that could also happen.
I think I did that in between right before the Arachne room actually, but yeah,
cool, that's fine. So you're just settling into bed, and then you feel a presence in your head.
I look over at Callista. I'm just like,
It is not Callista. It is a voice that you recognize. It is Phaedra, one of the 4 ruling council of Setessa, the one that has been hopelessly flirting with Cassian at the party when you left them.
Amazing.
And you just hear, Estrella, it's Phaedra. I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. Cassian wanted me to check that all is well. I hope. And then there's like a pause, and you could tell that the way that her tone was sort of, it was a bored kind of, she didn't really want to be doing this, but clearly she's mentioned that she can do this thing in the head, and Cassian has gone, oh, you can talk to Estrella, I need you to check and see. And so she's cut off in the middle, and then her tone changes a little to one of concern, of worry. And she says, Cassian, my sweet, what's wrong? And then there is silence. But you do feel like you could respond if you wanted to.
Okay.
In roughly somewhere between 24 to 26 words.
Oh, okay.
I'm not like very, very fussy, but you know, it's not going to be whole essays. Yeah.
I think, how mean do I want to be? Hang on. Let me just roll a quick d20. Please hold. How mean do I want to be? Middling mean. Tell him I'm dead.
So that's what you say. Okay, so just to be clear, you're not responding to the fact that she asked him what's wrong.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot about that. Hang on. Tell him I'm dead. Did you say what's wrong? Is everything okay? Phaedra?
Yeah, that's so sweet. You get radio silence.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o.
There is a...
maybe she just ran out of spell slots. But anyway...
I don't believe you!
There are no more messages in response to that.
Stray just feels like a really inexplicable chill run down her spine, and then just like... No more spell slots. It's the end of the day.
It's probably fine. She's probably doing this on purpose just to be spiteful, right? Right?
Mhm.
Right.
You know we hate each other,
Probably
right?
it. Cool. Kalyuka, you are now next to go on your watch. Are you staying up? Are you doing anything in particular? Or you can just make a perception check if you like, just to...
I'm just going to do a perception check for now. I also, maybe at the end of my watch when I'm waking up, Callisto, I kind of do... Oh my god, that's an 8 on perception. If I survive this
It was
watch...
a long day, y'all. It was a long day.
8. Cool. You get ready to get on your, like, this is my role. I am here for the next 2 hours to watch. What do I watch? And there is just, cavernous walls around you. It's pitch black. No one remembered to give you a light. So you just peer into what you presume is one of the corridors. And really you're using your listening at this point because you can't see a flipping thing. No one has remembered to give you a light. So you just squint your eyes, and you didn't eat enough carrots when you were younger, I'm sorry to tell you, so it doesn't really help.
A gentle rebuke from Caillou.
Yeah. Nothing happened. Caillou, however, is next to you. Seems to be kind of happily looking around. She realizes that you're squinting and attempts to light her little horn up a bit, and she kind of just lights this tiny few millimeter area around her, but she just looks up at you in a way that she's just really happy that she thinks she's being helpful. And just kind of give her a little scritch on the ears to you're so grateful to have a friend who is trying to help you so much. Pretending that you can see just a little bit better now. You can't. But yeah, the watch is uneventful, and we move on to Callista's watch.
Okay, and
Roll
Callista.
your perception check.
Okay, perception.
And if you're wanting to do anything else, let me know.
I'm feeling a little cold, and I wonder whether I could bring the sheep to us. The ram.
Oh, the ram, yes. That would have probably been addressed in your plans for what you'll do next. There really is the option. The options are to essentially release it into the wild, or to take it to the Amatrophon, which is kind of I would say a national park. It's
okay.
But
I'll probably take
kind
it
of
there.
slash a farm. It's kind of they look after animals. It's like a reserve, like a nature reserve type-esque thing.
The great big farm upstate.
Yeah.
That ram would have been quite nice, Mom. Let's remember to take it when we wake up in the morning.
Let's not forget about it again like I just did.
And make it my pet.
Eva's gonna ride it.
I mean, by taking it to the Amatrophon, that's the closest that they're going to let you do that with.
Eva's gonna ride it.
We'll see about that with any animal handling check that you need to make. Callista, is there anything else that you're wanting to do? And tell me your perception check.
I rolled an 11. I rolled a 3, and I have a +8, so I got an 11. But before, as she wakes up and takes over the watch from Kalyuka would hear in her head, your words earlier tonight when we were trying to negotiate with Arachne were really impressive. I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you. I wish she was still alive to maybe hear a song, So maybe it did get her spidey that senses tingling. But I wonder if she has anything on her.
Yeah, Callista would say, I really like your music. And I like Caillou too. I've never had a pet before.
Oh, really? I don't mind sharing. And I guess after traveling so much, I'd love to maybe, go back home at this point and play my music for them. Do you think maybe if at that time you want to travel a little bit and I need a little help sneaking out afterwards, you could come with me?
I would love that. I don't want to go back to the temple. I I really think I need to figure some stuff out. I'm not sure that I'm following the right goddess, but we can worry about that later. I would love to have you as a friend, and I would love to meet your family.
There are a lot of doors
Farah
that for
just
us to
keeled
unlock.
over in the heavens. Just like, she said, what?
Mythic Theros, season 2.
Fully just like, oh, fuck my drag then, I guess.
Who needs divine intervention when you have divine retribution?
Divine retribution. You immediately lose all of your oracle power. No, just kidding. Okay, so cool. So your perception check with an 11. Everything seems fine. Nothing untoward happens. At this point, Letitia's still working away. She seems to be getting a little tired. But she also seems to be what she considers to be making. She's made a few kind of vials. She's just trying to churn out as much as she can of this thing that she doesn't even really know it's going to work. So, cool. And we come to Eva. Eva, as you kind of have at the very beginning, while everyone else has been on their watch, you have fallen into the grip of sleep. And as you fall into that and sleep deeply, you find yourself quickly in a strange place. You are no longer in the cave. You are alone, sat cross-legged on a cracked piece of tile that floats through an inky purple sky. It is filled with 1,000 stars, and you know without question that you are somehow in the realm of Nyx right now. It is endless twisting of colors, the overwhelming pressure of pure magical energy. It's undeniable. And before you towers a figure that seems to be made up of both drawing your attention from the rest of your surroundings and yet also blending seamlessly within them at the same time.
Eva's gonna smile happily and give them a wave.
The figure's forearms are outstretched. They're welcoming and imposing. Where there should be a face is just a void, though 2 stars shine brighter in the place of eyes. You know that you stand in the presence of Krufix, he whom you have served for so long. 2 hands gesture, and the stars rearrange themselves to form words. They say, "Welcome, little bird. You called for me in the temple. I am here. What troubles you?"
Eva is going to relay sort of what she found in regards to the other god, the goddess.
Office?
Yeah, that. And she's going to relay kind of what she just found going on in that temple and what she's learned from talking to the different entities here, and her sort of interpretation of what she is up to. And she just thought that Krufix might want to know that there's some cogs turning.
Cool. The stars again rearrange themselves. My sister is not my enemy, but she is not my friend. Her plans are not ill-intentioned yet, nor are they selfless. That is how it must remain in order for balance to be achieved. You did well to share this secret with me. May I share one with you?
Eva will nod happily and enthusiastically. She likes secrets.
Clothis has taken a special interest in you and in your friends. She wishes for you all to serve her in aid of something. Something that will affect Theros itself in the biggest way. If she asks you, will you?
Eva will think about it for a second and, kind of look at him and be like, it helps you?
There is no face, but you feel a sense of warmth, a smile within that void. It is the answer I'd hoped for. Not necessarily the one I needed. Clothis and I must remain in all things neutral, truly neutral, in order for Theros to continue with balance. If either of us begin to sway in one direction or another, the other will have to do the same to counterbalance. And that will cause chaos. We trust each other. We check on each other. I need you to say yes when she asks. But I need you to be yes. My secret and mean no. Do you understand?
Yes, but no. Good secret.
Then I will share with you a secret. I feel you sometimes question the need, the timing to keep and reveal secrets. You have done well in serving me by doing so regardless. Your family should be proud of you, but they are not. This troubles me. I fear that the Obsidian Talon has lost its dedication to the true neutrality and purpose that I purvey, and it seeks power. Doing so will be its destruction. When you return to Setessa, see for yourself. And that last word is said out loud. You hear a whisper, see for yourself, self. And the stars begin to shimmer and fade. And the inky purple blues of space and the Nyx begin to darken. The tile begins to crack. And everything becomes black. And you wake. It is your turn for watch with Onyx.
Ooh, she's gonna kind of have a million-yard stare on her face as she wakes up. And she's just gonna kind of reach into her satchel and take out a cookie and eat this one herself.
Gonna need it. And I think that I will now take us to break. We are about 4:30. We're gonna take a 15-minute break now. So that everyone can stretch their legs, get a little bit of food, maybe get a drink, and we can play some ads so that the ads do not interrupt the stream. Words. That's another reason why we need a break. Cool. And we will all see you in about 15 minutes time. Thank you all so much for coming in, checking us out, and see you soon. Bye. Hello. Oh no, I'm the only person doing it. Okay, I'll forgive you. We are back and we are ready. I've accidentally done this. We are back and we are ready for getting right back into the action. Not that there was masses of action going on. But we will just quickly resolve Onyx and Eva. Is there anything that you wanted to discuss or talk about during your moment of keeping watch?
Eva's just gonna ask Onyx if she is okay.
I'm okay now, thank you.
Okay, good.
And then two of you kind of just sitting there. Bianca's head is kind of leaning on Onyx's lap as she's like fast asleep.
I think there's a little bit of preening.
Just like Eva will go over and do the whole hair braid. Brush, braid, brush, braid.
And then when she's done, Onyx will just check her feathers real quick, make sure they're all laying in the same direction.
Yeah, pretty.
It is a bit of a sort of dirty, mussy cave. It definitely happens that this is all kind of this is much needed grooming. All right, and nothing really happens at this point. You're in a dark cave, but it is starting to get like it is early morning now, and you get kind of towards the end of your watch as everyone is waking up, and Letitia, she kind of has about 8 vials next to her. And she says, she kind of like wipes her brow, and she says, "Okay, this is the best I could do." Let's try, I guess.
Yes.
And does Bianca's mom have any signs of having been bitten or undergoing any sort of change?
No, she didn't. They didn't do it to her yet. She was the next person.
They were about to, but she kind of struggled and fought them off very bravely, actually, and managed to kill that particular creature before it could, with a sort of pin that had been in her hair. She has not reclaimed that needle, needless to say. Decided
that's okay. I'll get her new ones
with the debris. But so you head over to where you have found these spegs.
I love how mad you are whenever you say that word.
I'm so mad that I can't not say it now. And I will also say that in the time that you spent maybe preparing, ready to settle down for the night and everything, you might have had a bit of a look around. And roll a group perception check for me. So I want all of you to roll perception, and I will decide if, based on all of your results, what you found.
13.
You have a nat 1 from Joan. 13.
15.
Okay.
9.
9.
What is with our rolls today?
It's terrible.
Lulu, you are muted. So.
Oh, sorry. I thought I clicked the unmute button. Callista got a 24.
There we go.
Callista has told you all.
Yeah.
Great.
Sunlight.
It's not surprising, really, that Onyx is very distracted as you've all been kind of looking around this space. Her concern is Bianca. So you're all like looking, but she's not really looking. She's checking on Bianca. She keeps looking at her almost in that way of like, is she real? She's really here, right? This isn't gonna be like pulled away from me. Every time Bianca kind of stumbles or anything like that, she's just kind of making sure she's safe. But Callista, this is your moment. You are eyes of an eagle, looking around, and with a kind of aid from everyone else, you did find there were about 8 people, as far as you could tell, in amongst the normal spider eggs. and you head over to where you've kind of marked those now. Letitia kind of gets out her tools, and she has something that kind of resembles, I would say, a little bit like a pipette. And she uses it to kind of funnel the mixture within this amniotic fluid within the egg. And there's a moment of silence when nothing happens. You can kind of just see it swirling around. And she sort of has this moment where she goes, I don't actually even know how long this would take if it was going to work anyway. The transformation process is quite extensive. It could be extensive in return. Maybe we should move on to the next one and come back.
As Estrella remembers two things. One, she's going to go and find the poor guy that's tied up.
Yup.
Can I try and pop a remove curse on him, and see what that does?
Okay.
I assume nothing will happen, but also, like, I feel like I owe it to this poor barbecue man. Or woman.
I would like to know if there's any extra RP that you would like to do while trying to fix this poor man.
Yeah.
You were the one that burnt him, or burnt her, sorry. If there's anything that you would like, as well as just popping a remove curse, is there anything else that you think Estrella would do in that moment? She's face to face, and this poor creature, she's, you know, the wounds are starting to heal it a little bit, but she just kind of looks lost. She's staring vacantly at the wall. Her mandibles are occasionally chattering, and when you walk in, she kind of looks up at you. There's no hostility. There's no friendliness either.
Understandable.
Just sort of confusion, but there's no hostility, considering that you did, you know, attack her and everything like that.
Yeah.
She just seems confused. She's just looking around the place like she's a bit lost.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of kneel down by her and trying to keep everything within view. Pippin, please stop chewing on my foot. Trying to keep everything within, like everything that I'm doing within view. I would like to kind of grab one of her many hands. I'm sorry that you got caught up in whatever these people were doing, and I'm sorry that I kind of like gesture at all of the charred spider. I'd like to try and help, see if I can reverse this. Is that okay?
She kind of stares at you.
Blink once for yes, twice for no.
And then she still looks confused, like she doesn't quite understand what you said, but she kind of gives like an acquiescing nod. So there is some level of understanding, some level of intelligence, or at least in the intent is being received by her.
Okay. And I'll kind of like look up at quote unquote the heavens and say, I'm no Callista, but if you're up there, and I go ahead and pop the remove curse, and I'll kind of like grasp my arcane whatever, and I'll kind of channel all of my #good vibes and healing energy, and maybe even some essential oils for the weird white moms out there.
Roll.
Hey, I like essential oils.
True. Oh, okay.
I know that this is not part of the spell, but roll a d20 and add your spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
I
swear to God, that's a natural 20 for a total of 25. This is why we've been rolling like shit all session. This is why.
Okay. You place your hand in this creature's hand. And this is, I mean, perhaps emotion is not your strongest point. You're a very logical, analytical person. You have always enjoyed problem solving. It's one of the reasons why, even though you don't particularly consider yourself much of a religious person, you connect and vibe with Keranos in the way that you do, because Keranos is all about problem solving and elements of using wisdom and attempting to look at things as if they were a puzzle that need to be corrected. His emotions are known to be, you know, very tempestuous. He is the god of storms, but I think that there would be a sense of, many people underestimate Keranos because they feel like a deity that is so about destructive power could not possibly have a level of intelligence or put thought into things, which is not, you know, that people underestimate Keranos in that way. They just kind of, unless they really understand his worship and his methodology, they just kind of put it down to, he just likes to blow things up. And Astrea has had a difficult life and has probably had much of her life being underestimated also. And just for a brief moment, as you kind of use this spell and concentrate, and your sort of pity for this creature, your sense of responsibility, the emotions of the day, and even perhaps a little bit of worry creeping in.
That's where all the emotions coming from. It's just like the little floodgate.
You pour everything that you have into fixing this problem, because that is what you do. One thing at a time. We will fix each and everything until everything is okay again. And you hear what appears to be a distant rumble of thunder. And you watch as, holding this creature's hand, through the hair, you begin to see its veins and sparks of lightning dance through them. And the hair on this humanoid begins to recede. Because you rolled a nat 20. A transformation begins to take place. And it is almost disturbing but morbidly fascinating to watch. She doesn't appear to be in any pain, but she looks frightened as this transformation happens. And the rumble of thunder recedes. And you are back, and there is a woman sitting in front of you. With a rather tattered, singed-looking dress. And she attempts to talk, and then her eyes roll back and she kind of faints.
You all hear from the next room
But
a
she's
muffled,
alive.
"Holy shit!"
Eva's going to jump up and rush over to where the cursing just came from.
And Estrella's kind of like on the ground, like on her
and
knees.
you
This-
will see exactly as I described. I will say that you get the sense, just from that kind of momentary connection that you had with your deity, you get the sense that this was not an easy thing for them to fix. And it is not something that will come potentially without consequences. But for now, a problem has been solved.
Estrella's kind of like on her knees, like kind of like holding the now untied person. I think maybe Callista or Onyx might want to. I don't think she's dead, but
Ooh. Yeah,
Oh,
You
shit,
have
Callista!
proficiency with medicine, if anyone.
Callista will go in and do a medicine check.
Yeah, roll a medicine check for me.
15.
15. Not dead. Unconscious, but breathing seems stable. They're in a stable condition. They're not on death saving throws, as it were. But they are in a stable condition. But
it's more like exhaustion and emotion.
They
than anything
don't
else.
look well. But they definitely look a whole lot better than they did when you left them.
Callista will, having done that medicine check, she'll lean down and she'll take out a vial that she has that's kind of sealed with some wax. And she's like, I got this a while back. I don't know if it'll help. And she'll take some of it and she'll drop it in her mouth, and she'll use one of her 2 charges that she has left of her restorative ointment on this woman, which would, it's 2d8 plus 2 hit points, and it removes poisoned and cures any diseases. And just see if that helps the woman. And she'll look at Estrella and she'll be like, that was a good thing that you just did.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Callista, I know that there are those out there that can talk to people across great distances. Are you one of those people?
I am not. I'm sorry. I can talk to people in their heads from a short distance, but at least not right now, not from a long distance.
You see her kind of like, her eyes kind of like move around a little bit as she's thinking. And then she kind of like grabs your hand, clasps it between her own. Thank you. And then she kind of like gets up and like runs to get, and runs to find Letitia.
So Letitia at this point is, she is kind of watching. She has gone around and applied this ointment to all of these different eggs, and
Specs.
she is watching as you heard I said eggs. She is watching as ointment has now completely changed this fluid into a completely different color, and at that point, as you get there, and Letitia says, well, I think we might be having some kind of, inside one of the eggs, the eyes of the person shoot open and they begin to struggle within. You're smart. It looks like they are drowning.
Grab dagger, slice down.
Cool. The fluid spills out, and you see as they kind of step out of it, the again, what transformations had begun are receding, and they kind of as they take great gasps of air, and seeing this, Letitia grabs her own sort of dagger and begins to run towards the ones that are furthest away. I think between all of you, you could probably get to all of them and kind of break them out as they kind of wake up.
Mhm.
You have nine saved women as they all begin to wake up, and they seem cold and tired, but the general consent and frightened. But the general consensus that you get from all of them is that they very much wish to return to Setessa as quickly as possible. They're asking after their loved ones. They're panicking. They're all of those things.
Yeah. I'm also going to, as a full action, like, I'm not going to bother with the ritual. I'm just going to cast it. Find familiar hawk and tell it to get its ass back to Setessa and tell me what it finds.
Okay.
Please.
Cool. And it will. So the instructions, I guess, are to head back to Setessa,
take the most direct route
observe,
possible,
and then come back to find you.
Yes.
And tell you what it finds.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
asking it specifically to find Phaedra and or Cassian. And I'm going to also kind of turn to Letitia. Can you send messages to people who are far away?
No, I don't really have a grasp on magic. I know how to make things from plants and animals.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to alarm anyone. Last night, as I was falling asleep, I got a message from Phaedra. I don't know if something is wrong with Setessa, but it sounds like my boss might be in something. So the sooner we get back, the better, as she does her very best to conceal her extreme worry.
Can Eva tell that she is concerned?
The deception I rolled was a synthetic 20, so if you want to roll, or if you have a higher passive insight, go for it.
No, my insight's 19.
Oh,
Well, let's
no.
do
Does
it.
anyone have a passive insight over 20? Yeah, I'm looking at you, Lulu. Lulu, well, I should say Callista.
Amazing.
You would immediately see that Estrella is trying to mask abject terror. She is exceptionally worried, but she's trying to keep it chill.
And Estrella will hear in her head, you know, I'm sorry. If I would have realized last night, I could have concentrated on it and maybe gotten a spell that could have helped. But I can do something now. Are you more worried about just Setessa, or are you worried about Cassian more?
It's in your head.
This is in your head, so
Yeah. Estrella will kind of like glance over to Callista and say, Callista, you have a way to determine kind of what's going on, right? Just like a general vibe check.
Yeah, I can cast an augury spell and at least get an idea of what's going on if you want me to ask a specific question.
Look, full disclosure, like, my boss dies, I don't get my recommendation, I don't graduate from school.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Passive insight of over 20, is that the only thing that Estrella is worried about?
No. Absolutely not. And here's the thing, like, because your passive insight's so fucking high, like, you get the feeling that even Estrella isn't entirely sure why she's so worried.
Yeah. I was about to say, there is definitely something much deeper going on with Estrella. She is not just worried about getting her recommendation, but she seems a little confused by her own intense worry about this situation.
Yeah. But she's like, if you can just tell me if he's alive, so I know if I can, so I know if I have to find a new mentor.
I can do that, and Callista will pull out her little bag of polished stones and rubble and sit down and start to cast an augury spell as a ritual, asking the question, is Cassian in trouble? Is he alive? If that's not too many questions.
Okay, well, I will allow you to also be doing this if you wanted to move as well. You can still kind of have this on the go. I'm not massively fussy about you have to sit and stay in one spot in this just for the sake of kind of getting some movement. So if you want to start heading towards Setessa with your rescued people in tow.
And a ram as well.
Yep, go on, please. Sorry.
With Eva atop it.
Yeah, Eva's gonna go find the ram, and she wants to ride it.
Here's the real question: is the ram's fleece long enough for Eva to preen and braid?
There they go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Lindsay, I would like you to absolutely roll an animal handling check to see if you can get this ram to allow you to.
Can I help?
22.
Oh,
nice.
Never mind.
What was it?
22. 19 plus 3.
Devolve into. The ram is so bold over with happiness to see you all come back. It gives a little bleat. It recognizes you, Eva, because you were
talking to
kind of communicating with it before, and it just kind of starts to trot, and it like stretches out its legs and everything. And as you all begin your journey, it like nuzzles into your hand while you know, I guess feed it some cookie or
something.
Yeah, you know, try to make friends, and it acquiesces and allows you to
amazing
sit on top of it. I cannot believe that we are in this game where you're just riding a ram home. But here we are.
Amazing. Also, as a heads up, for full transparency, as far as spells go, I'm going to use my cantrip formulas class feature to switch out one of my cantrips for mending, just in case.
For mending?
Yep. I'm just switching out one of my cantrips for mending because Order of Scribes is nice like that.
Okay, absolutely. Callista, you're all walking, you're all making your way, and you can choose to go to the Amatrophen first if you would like, or you can head straight back to Setessa.
I would be taking Bianca back home as quickly as possible.
So Setessa first and then the Amatrophen later, maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're heading straight to Setessa. Callista, you focus on augury, the spell augury, and you get your little pots, your little shard pieces out, and you're kind of preparing them, washing them, tending to each one, and you attempt to reach out to find out the state of Cassian. If Cassian is okay, what is the answer to that question? How exactly do you word the question?
She would say, is Cassian in trouble? Does he need help?
You, as you walk, do as you always do. You open the bag out wide and you toss the shards in the air, and they land back on the bag with one perfectly in the middle, which you pluck to read. And it simply says, even the most hardened stone can crack if the right pressure is exerted.
So having
It's not a comforting message.
No. Having gotten that message, she'll send a message in Estrella's head. we should hurry back. The message I got was unclear but not comforting. We should hurry.
Let's hold. Oh, her face goes white. She'll kind of like give you a very tight nod.
You are hurrying back.
Mm-hmm.
You get about, and it's going to take a few hours. Even if you are marching quickly, you do have some really tired people that are struggling to keep up, and I think Estrella especially really has to tamper down on her patience with her wanting to be back as quickly as possible, but having to be understanding and empathetic to the fact that these people are not in a good state to be doing a whole lot of walking. They are jumpy, they are frightened, they're tired. They look like they haven't slept in weeks, even though they've kind of been sleeping in this egg for goodness knows how long. But you head on back, and I would say about 3/4 of the way there, your familiar returns to you. And transmits to you. I don't think that it can speak to you. I think
it does communicate telepathically, so I assume it's just kind of like thoughts, emotions, ideas.
Thoughts, emotions, images.
Oh no, not images.
You see in your mind, Satessa. Satessa looks fine. So, just to be on the surface, there's not fires raging. There's not like Satessa looks fine. Okay. You was particularly looking for either Cassian or Phaedra, I believe.
Or Uncle Alex.
Kind of swoops through, and you see a collection of people. Eventually, they look like the founders, and they are assembled, and they are back in their official gear, and you kind of think to yourself, oh yes, this would be about the time that the meeting is due to happen, a meeting that Cassian had begged for you not to miss. It was very important. Everything. You absolutely had to be there because everyone had to be there, and it's dire that neither you nor he misses this meeting.
Whoops.
You see Phaedra. She is tight-lipped. Her expression is neutrality, and she does glance up as the hawk kind of flies over and raises a quizzical eyebrow but says nothing. There is no sign of Cassian. The hawk flies around a little more, kind of briefly skims over various buildings, keeping a sharp eye out for him. There is no sign of Cassian. The hawk returns back to you.
From this projected image of Phaedra, I don't think he's stroking his purple mustache, but can I get an idea of what's going through Phaedra's mind? I guess mechanically, can I roll an insight check on Phaedra?
You would only be able to roll an insight check using the bird stats.
Okay. What is the stat of bird? Let's find out. And Hawk has a wisdom of +2. Okay. 5. I use it like a roll. That's it.
The hawk was tasked with with just finding them. It was not tasked with checking out their thoughts and feelings and their general vibe. So the best you got was an expression of everyone looked very neutral. I would say that she didn't look... I would say that there was a sort of tenseness, I guess, to her. But that could be because it is a very official meeting, and that kind of thing kind of does crop up in those settings.
Okay.
and the hawk just kind of lands on your shoulder, and it senses your anxiety and begins to sort of preen your hair lightly to try to calm you down.
Estrella is just thinking to herself, like pushing away all of the anxiety. Eva's so much gentler. And she just kind of like gives the bird like a little treat from her bag.
As you think that, because you and the familiar are mentally connected, the familiar gives a very disgruntled caw, but not angry at you, but there's just a like, if a bird could go, huh, then it would.
I just turned to
They
it,
do.
like, oh,
They do go, huh?
And then Estrella just does her very best to manage her mounting, like rapidly climbing anxiety.
Oh, yeah, doesn't take much to win the bird over. Cool. And you continue your journey. And you arrive back at the gates of Setessa. When you return, you head to the gates. You immediately... Kaliuka and Callista, you would immediately recognize the guard there. She is so as you approach, one guard will step forward and she will say, Paul, not all of you are Setessan. What is it that you seek here? And then the other guard, which you do recognize, steps forward with a resigned expression on her face. And she says, no, they have special permissions, Order of Silverbrow. Actually, and then she kind of looks around and she sees these women trailing behind you. They are happy to be home. And there's a sense of relief, but there's still like, they're kind of like hugging themselves. They're very stooped, and she's like, she kind of looks and she's, oh my goodness, go and get Silverbrow, go, this way, and she begins to lead you into the gates, and lead all of you, in fact. She kind of shouts at a couple of other guards nearby to sort of begin to go and fetch some basic supplies, fetch a healer, fetch food, water, these kind of things for these poor women that are behind. And you are led towards where you saw this hawk kind of end up, where you know that these council members were congregating. And they were kind of congregating outside of a building. As you walk through the streets, people begin to come out of their houses to watch this procession of you all walk past. And once or twice you watch as people run forward and they hug these women that you have rescued. And it begins to really hit home what you've done, and how you've actually really rescued these people. Letitia herself, she kind of walks past and she sees, you watch as there's a
oh boy, we're never gonna know what there is.
It's
We'll give her a sec to come back.
mm-hmm.
It froze at the most beautiful facial
Yeah, right.
No, it's so dramatic.
I'm seeing her bar lighting up.
And maybe she can hear us, but on
I
her
suspect,
end,
yeah. We'll give her a sec.
Mm-hmm.
It's always in the last hour.
Oh, and there
half
she goes.
an hour. Yep, she's gone.
Oh, she's back there.
Back.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, hello.
Hold on. Hi, let me just reconnect properly. 1 second.
Oh, hang on. We've got some camera funkiness. Please hold while I deal with that as well.
Okay.
But could we stop home by a bit so that by Onyx's house before we go anywhere else?
That's what I'm
Just-
planning to do.
Okay. I'm back.
We're back.
You're back. There seems to be, as you kind of express that you, where did I get to? Did you hear about Letitia?
As we get to past where the hawk was going.
Yeah, so you kind of got to where the hawk was. You are heading towards there, where the hawk went, where there was all these people congregated. It seemed to be like an official building where perhaps this meeting was supposed to be held, and they were waiting outside it. You watch as all of these people come out of their houses. They are watching you. Some run forward and hug what you assume to be their family members, their friends that they have lost, and it really kind of hits home what you have done, that you have rescued these people. And at one point you walk past an apothecary shop, which you assume to be Letitia's because she bursts into tears, and but it's tears of joy. She is happy to be home. And at one point you ask, can we, you see Kaliuka, the Onyx, is very anxious to find Daja. She is following along, but she seems, she's gazing around. She looks like she wants to take the turning to just head straight home. And so you ask the question, and the guards are, well, we are... An element of your return was expected. Your mother will probably be waiting in the square. And then she sort of turns towards you, Callista, because she recognizes what Silverbrow said about having dreamt of you, and she will say, Silverbrow dreamt of you all again last night. She knew you would return to us.
And is everything okay here? I got the feeling that something's wrong. Could you tell us what's going on?
Estrella at this point is no longer able to contain herself, and she's like, where is the Acrostian delegation?
Oh, yeah, well, they are. They will probably be in and around the square. That's where you are all staying. But we did receive an unexpected visitor last night. It's all been a bit chaotic here. Oh, excuse me. And she kind of walks over and breaks up, a couple of people have come forward and they are asking a lot of questions, and she goes to kind of deal with them and calm them down. And you head into the square. It's at this point, Onyx, that your eyes darting around, you see, and Bianca sees, Daja amongst the waiting, nervous crowd that appears to be gathering in this area. And she just breaks away from the people, and she runs forward and scoops both of you up into a giant hug, and begins to cry quite openly.
I think even at this point, without realizing it, Onyx does her radiant soul, and her wings sprout out and just wrap around both of her parents.
And there's just kind of this moment you see, yeah, I have to narrate this, guys. You kind of see everyone has kind of gathered in this square. Well, probably not everyone, but quite a few people have gathered in this square. These people that had been alongside you, they rushed to their families who had been pushed towards the front, hoping. There are one or two people that are desperately searching amongst the faces of who you have brought back, and they begin to cry heavily as they realize that they do not see their loved one amongst those that you rescue. But for the most part, it is a gathering of rejoice. Silverbrow and the other Cetessan leaders step forward and head their way towards you. You do see Astraea, the Acrosian delegation. There is like a building where you are all being housed, and the guards and sort of things have begun to make their way out and head towards you as well.
You know what I'm going to ask you.
There is no sign of Cassian.
Do any of them look upset, bothered, anything?
No. They look bewildered. And they certainly look bewildered to see you amongst this sort of group of heroes that have just returned, because by now that is kind of the whispers that are heading through the crowd. Everyone is excited. You've arrived. It's just as Silverbrow said, you have rescued them, your heroes. And a sort of people begin to clap, and soon the entire crowd is erupted in a kind of cheer, and everyone is happy and they are celebrating.
Is Uncle Alex in the crowd? I know he's not Uncle Alex, but is Uncle Alex there?
Uncle Alex. Yes. Alexander Krios is sort of stood back. He's watching you.
Okay.
And he sees you, and his eyebrows knit together and his lips pursed tightly, but he says nothing.
Anger?
And a couple of the guards that you insight. What's your passive insight? Or would you like to roll an insight check?
I would like to roll an insight check.
Roll an insight check. I think you'd be
so bad.
And Calista would be watching very closely too, knowing how upset Astraea is about Cassian.
9.
9. I think the biggest thing that you would get from him is disapproval.
Okay. Like
But-
weirdly, Astraea is just like, okay.
It's disapproval. It's not fury.
Oh, I don't care if
But
he's
there is
mad.
a
I would be concerned if he was sad.
Right. Yeah, of course.
He can be as mad as he wants.
And so he sort of looks disapprovingly, but he says nothing. He hangs back while everyone cheers and claps you on. A couple of the guards nearby, Acrosian guards, approach as the congregation of Cetessan leaders make its way towards you. And they come up to you, Astraea, and they say, Lady Astraea, where have you been?
Called away on urgent business. It was a bit too sudden to let anyone know, especially given the personal connection that one of us had with one of the, as she gestures, victims. What would Cassian's formal title be?
General.
Okay.
General Cassian Laos.
Okay, but General Cassian Laos thought it would be beneficial to have someone on the recovery team, just for added safety. As I quietly just full transparency, the attempt is to subtly be like, I didn't make this choice on my own, even though I totally did, but also try and throw Cassian under the bus while also bringing him up and also being like, look what he did.
Um,
So it's like a
so
quadruple
as
purpose
you're
here.
talking, they kind of, you're talking quite fast and they're trying to follow, and then they go, oh, well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? And he's like, yeah. So Cassian thought that would be a good idea, did he?
He
Letting
saw
you go
the
off
need.
on your own?
He recognizes my ability and thought that I would be somewhat helpful, and it turns out that I was able to bring someone back that, from what we understood, otherwise would not have been. So it was a good call.
Well,
For once.
General,
She adds, like, after a moment.
Lord Commander Leos didn't seem to think that was a good call.
I'm sure the two of them have sorted it out.
And this would be surprising to you. Cassian's father was not expected to be here for another day or so.
Oh, so in that case, the reaction is the. Do you mean Alexander, or whatever his title is? Uncle Alex.
No. Lord Commander Ulysses arrived last night.
Oh, that was ahead of schedule. What for?
He demanded to know where you were. He was very upset.
Yeah, I will handle him. Perhaps this is not the time or place, but I will handle him.
And at this point, the delegation of leaders have kind of made their way over to you. And Silverbrow has this big beaming smile on her face. She's looking at you really, Callista, and but all of you, and she's saying, I knew that you would pull through. Didn't I tell you all? You just all thought I was having silly dreams again, but didn't I say? And the other leaders are kind of grudgingly, respectfully nodding their heads.
Where's Phaedra?
And Phaedra is there.
Great.
And she, while the others are kind of looking at you all and smiling and saying their thanks, they don't quite know how to approach this conversation. It feels like that they've just been they had a plan in mind this morning, and it was a meeting with the Therosian delegation, and then Silverbrow just kind of come leaping in and going, no, they're going to come back, and all of the missing people are going to come back. We have to go and gather here. And that's the kind of vibe that you get, that they've kind of just been called here, and they're like, we had a plan. And what is it? Okay. But they're very happy to see their citizens return, very grateful. So they're kind of all looking around, except Phaedra.
Oh yeah, I will absolutely completely forget myself.
She has her eyes solemnly trained on you, and she keeps occasionally glancing towards her fellow delegates, and she watches as you have this conversation with the guards, and her eyes narrow a little, and then she steps forward and she says, this truly is a moment for celebration. Lady Estrella, if I might take you aside for just one moment, I wish to have a word with you privately.
Certainly.
I think this is the point when Onyx's head perks up from her group and she takes note.
I kind of
and at this
study
point,
her.
Bianca and Darja are just kind of, they're fussing over each other. Even now, Bianca, ever the slightly more anxious one, is checking in on Darja. Have you been eating properly? Have you been sleeping properly? And
like,
Darja
you're the one that was in a jail.
Am I not supposed to be the one that's worrying about you? They're having that kind of almost like bickering, but just incredibly happy to see each other relationship that you are kind of used to. But Onyx, you kind of look up and you take note at the way that everyone is looking around. Everyone is happy except these two women, Estrella and Phaedra, whose eyes are just purely focused on each other in what is probably the most intense staring contest that you have ever seen in your life. And she kind of offers her arm in a sort of very Jane Austen way.
Of course. I will happily take, well, not happily because I'm anxious as fuck. I will take her arm and do my best to walk at a measured pace, and just kind of like take her in, and what happened last night? To be clear, I don't want any of the gross details. I just want to know why you thought something was wrong.
So she will look as if she was going to go to speak, and then a little taken aback at you speaking, and she'll kind of raise her eyebrows and she'll go, all right, well, let's get down to business then.
I
trust
Eva's
Onyx-
gonna eavesdrop.
Yeah, Onyx whistled low pitch to Eva, and she and Eva are trailing him.
Okay, I want you to roll a stealth check.
Hold on, I am going to cast. 1 second, let me see if it'll help.
Is this against my passive or
I am
active
casting
perception?
Pass Without Trace.
On both of us?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So it's plus 10?
So you are doing Pass Without Trace, and is it just you
No, for the both
that
of
you're
us.
hoping to hide?
Yep.
Cool. So roll a stealth, and you get to add your plus 10 bonus.
Yeah.
Is this against my passive or active perception?
It is against your passive perception,
Alright.
because I think that your active perception
Oh,
is all very much focused on
Yeah.
Miss Phaedra.
100%.
31!
Jesus!
31. You have no idea that you are being called right now.
With the
and
plus
she-
10, Onyx got a 15.
Oh, I see Onyx.
Oh, Onyx is following as well.
Yes.
My
And
passive
was
is a
covered
17.
by the Pass Without Trace.
Okay. So you got a 15 with the Pass Without Trace.
Mm-hmm.
My
Okay,
passive is a
so
17.
Astrea, you would see Onyx
Okay.
kind of following you.
Estrella will glance,
Keeping distance.
Okay.
And actually, Phaedra, I would say as well, would also notice Onyx. She is a very perceptive lady. And
In that case,
she
Onyx
would
will
say,
just
well, if
walk
you
out.
wanted to have a private conversation, perhaps we should make sure that it is a private conversation.
Estrella glances back and says, she means well, but there's a cattail in my face. She means well, but I do think in this case, Onyx, if it would be alright if we could have the room.
Onyx will give you a look that's like, for real, and then be like, alright, and walk out.
Eva's going to stay.
Eva does not appear to have been, you do not appear to have been seen by either Astrea or Phaedra. Because she ain't that perceptive. But she's very pleased with herself for having spotted Onyx. And she turns to you and goes, well then, if it's to business, it's to business. You've already heard, I presume, that the general returned a little early last night.
I have.
Or Lord Commander, sorry.
Oh god, don't tell me he caught you.
Caught me what?
Look, he's a hoe. That's not what she says. Just, he's very big on propriety and all that nonsense. What happened?
Oh.
He frequently...
Jealous. Oh, that's adorable.
As if that wasn't the goal the whole time.
Okay, so Estrella just kind of like blinks at her for a sec. Look. I need him to graduate, that is all. Just tell me what happened. I'm just gonna roll a deception check against fucking myself.
Yeah, you need to be rolling some deception checks, lady. This is or persuasion if you are telling the truth.
Oh no. 7.
And
And here's the thing, like, I'm gonna roll an insight check on myself as well, which is somehow lower, so I believe myself. I rolled a 4 on my insight check.
She kind of is looking at you. She has a little sort of smile on her face. She says, the problem last night was the Lord Commander returned early. He was very upset that you were absent, and foolishly, your mentor chose to cover for you.
And
then they went to speak alone. And when I tried to inquire afterwards what had happened, I found out that Cassian had been taken to the Hall of Renewal.
Hey, Kat, what does that
He
mean?
is being cared for by one of our healers. It's a hospital.
Okay, couple questions. One, is this in Akros?
No, it's in Setessa. She is saying that the healers had to take him to take care of him. It seems, as Lord Commander put it, that Cassian suffered a rather terrible accident.
You see...
He is
oh my god.
fine. And then she kind of looks at you and she says, he is fine. I have been to see him. He's broken bones, bruises, hurt pride, I suppose, but he is quiet.
She sees just like a spark of pure lightning in Estrella's eyes for a second. And she's not even trying to hide like her rage at this point.
May I make a suggestion? You're going to need to work on your poker face.
She says a very tight, like, curt thank you. And then, she kind of recomposes her face for a moment and, walks out.
Wait, are you trying to walk away from her?
I am, yes.
So she says, wait.
I will turn.
That's not the only thing I wish to discuss with you.
All right.
I can see that, and her composure, which has been very like Mean Girls, Regina George, like it kind of like relaxes. And she says, "I can see you're upset. I think I approached this in the wrong way. I was flirting with Cassian, but not because I have any interest in him. I wanted some information."
Information on...
I felt that...
Also, why do I care? Anyway.
I felt that Akros were up to something. I've had that feeling for some time.
Jen has too. I sent you the conspiracy theory weeks ago.
Does Estrella's face change when she says that?
I think Estrella is genuinely too preoccupied with other matters to really take in what she's saying, so no.
Okay. So she kind of says, I felt it for some time. I thought that Cassian was an in, but it seems if there is something going on, he doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah, that's par for the course.
However, I do not trust your Lord Commander.
Was this before or after he beat his son to a pulp?
I've never trusted him. Do you? And then she kind of like cocks her head, and then she sort of smiles and she says, You don't recognize me, do you?
I mean, you're Phaedra, one of the leaders of Setessa.
I'm sure you've read all about me. So you would know where I grew up.
Cat, help. My brain is focused on other things right now.
You would, and I did give you information at the very beginning. She was an orphan that grew up on the streets of Miletus. And she kind of smiles and she says, I feel that we share a birthplace. You know, Nestor was devastated when you left us.
Just like same impassive face with just like a hint of like recognition. What brought you to Setessa?
I was rescued by the Setessan people.
Huh.
I always said that they didn't investigate your supposed death thoroughly enough, and it seems I was right. But don't worry, I wouldn't reveal your secret. We have a lot of things in common. I'm not your enemy, Estrella. Go and speak to Cassian if you wish. He will probably be very pleased to see you. A friendly face.
I feel like you might misunderstand the nature of our professional relationship, but certainly.
And she kind of smiles as you say that, and kind of like scratches her chin, and she goes, "On the contrary, I think I understand it perfectly." And then she says, "But go, return to your friends. Perhaps you could aid me in investigating the Lord Commander."
Split second, yes.
Oh, good. I was expecting to have to be a little bit more persuasive than that. That's you and your friends seem to have many skills, and I am in need of them. He will be
Yeah, when we
pleased to hear
can
that you've
roll.
returned, and he will most likely invite you to dinner of some kind. It could be a good distraction if you wanted to investigate his rooms a little more thoroughly.
Give me an hour.
As you wish.
And she'll kind of turn to leave, and she'll stop for a second and turn back. Thank you. I mean it.
Can you remind me of your passive insight?
17. Oh wait, no, 12. I lied.
12.
It's 12. It's shit.
Mine's
smile that
19.
she gives you
I'm there.
seems to
Mine's
be-
19.
Yes, you would see that the smile that she gives you seems to be, or gives Estrella, seems to be genuine.
And
She
Estrella
might be enjoying throughout this. In fact, the vibe that you've got from this is she might have been enjoying toying with Estrella's emotions a little bit, but ultimately she's been telling the truth, and she has far bigger problems on her mind than potential enemies to lovers, high school drama kind of thing. going on here. With a if you have been rolling Deceptor, Jen, at any points, you called out your numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously anything below a 19, either you would have realized where Astrea might have been pretending at certain points that she cares a little less than she actually does. And I think you certainly would have seen
the receipts.
You certainly would have
Received.
Seen that very big flash of emotion when she realized that Cassian was hurt within the Hall of Renewal. And I think that we shall end our session there.
Can I just do one quick thing before those two split up?
Go on.
Yep. So Eva is going to try and go through the shadows to get closer to Daedra without being seen. And she's going to mimic her mother's voice. And she is going to whisper to the wind, your intuition is on track in being suspicious. Keep looking for those secrets.
When you say her mother's voice, do you mean Eva is going to
Eva's mother? Eva's her own mother's voice, which is going to be a little bit more regal and concisive in her words.
Ooh, I like that. And Phaedra is going to stop. And what was your stealth was like 31.
31.
Wasn't it?
Yep.
Let me just roll. Because she is perceptive. She could see you if she was actively looking. It's possible, but not probable. So she rolled a 5. So she's so blown away by this voice that carries on the wind that she kind of looks around. And it isn't until too late that she thinks to look in the very shadow that you're hiding in. But by then you are long gone, of course.
Yep, I'm going after Astrea now.
Yeah. Trying to pretend that you definitely didn't follow her the whole time. Cool. And that is where we shall end our session. I will now, oh my goodness, I've forgotten what am I doing with my life. We will go around one by one. We will introduce ourselves. We will talk a little bit about our projects while I get myself back on track. So let us start with, I'm going to go very lawful now, and we're going to start with Jen.
All right. Sorry, I am not with it anymore. My head is everywhere. Hi guys. I am Jen. I have been playing your now very angry local wizard Astrea, who is just in the past 5 minutes been pelted with many revelations. And also is blatantly lying to herself despite all of her best efforts to, be insightful or whatever. I can be found on Twitter at Jenburb. Other than that, I'm pretty boring.
You asked for psychic damage for saying the word spegs multiple times, and I found something better.
You did. You gave me actual psychic damage.
Yeah, I did. Joan, you are.
I have been Onyx, your now very happy camper, because she got her mama's back. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as the Rogue Senna. And stay tuned because next week I'm going to start streaming. And you can find all those in my link tree, which is in the bio of my Twitter account. And so, yeah, check us out.
Nice. Let us go to Kumi next.
Hello, I am Kumi, and you can find me over at Kumi Curiosities on Instagram or Twitter. I'm also starting a little horror campaign next week on Girls Run These Worlds at that's 4th of October. Starts about half an hour after to our usual Therosian times. So excited to take people through a fun house.
Yeesh. There's a reason I didn't apply for that one, and it's because I don't do clouds.
Cool. Just really quickly, if we could try to figure out someone that we can raid while I continue with everyone else's outros. Let's go to Lindsay next.
Hello, everyone. It's Lindsay. You're clearly not a rogue, Kenku. You can find me on Twitter at Chunky Chickadee, with the last E being a 1 because someone took it with an E. And yeah, I am up to join any campaign with my awesome bird skills. I run an anime cosplay store here in my small town of Belleville, Ontario. You can find us at dokidokimart.com. Yeah, hi, bye.
Nice. And last but not least, let's go Lulu.
Hi, I'm Lulu. I have been playing Callista, the somewhat confused cleric who is happy at least that the party has rescued Bianca, and she is pretty interested in what's going on between Jen and Cassian, or between Estrella and Cassian. She was raised in a temple, so she doesn't get out much. But you can find me on Twitter at Lulu in WA, Lulu in Washington. And I don't stream very often, but I do paint minis and create scenes using minis and terrain.
Okay. And I guess that leaves me. So I am Kat, always also known as Law Mistress or Law Mistress 93 on Twitter. I am a writer and blogger normally, but I have been dipping my toes, as it were, into the world of streaming. I'm very grateful to Girls Run These Worlds for allowing me to run this amazing campaign with this fantastic cast. I really enjoy myself every week, and next week is our finale episode. That's right. Which I'm very, very excited about, and also like and I'm kind of sad, but mostly excited. Raid wise, do you know how to do it, Jen? Because we could raid Tavernaut if you do.
So what I'll do is I'll just bring us to our outro screen and then figure out the raid stuff so that we're able to get to them.
Sounds good. Cool. Other than that, I also stream every other Thursday on VA Redemption's channel. I am playing a cyberpunk campaign. I play Call Sign Siren. And I really, really, really love and enjoy that. So if you are around at, what would it be, GMT? So it will be 8 o'clock British summertime. Then please, 8 p.m. on every other Thursday, do come and join us. This has been really fun. I will call out one last time that we are doing 25, or Twitch are doing, I should say, 25% off of subs, because it is September. So if you enjoy watching our content or enjoy watching any of the other Girls Run These Worlds shows, which we love to pieces, then please do drop us a sub. Twitch are taking the hit monetary wise, so yeah, it will be well worth your while, I'm sure. Just a real quick shout out as well to say that we are up for a Game Hers nomination as our Girls Run These Worlds. I think the voting ends tomorrow, so please, if you can find it on my Twitter, my pinned tweet is how to vote. Please drop us a vote as well if you enjoy this content. And yeah, we will now go to stream ended screen and figure out a raid. And please stick around and be nice to like guests and head over on the raid with us. Bye everyone, thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.